In the past decade, we have helped organizations navigate change and also reshape the kind of conversations that they're trying to have on people, culture, and leadership. What was shared today in terms of insights is also something that is very true to the kind of work that we do at Serene. It is about not just about grit and building businesses that work well, but also ethical questions that leadership should not ignore, questions that matter, questions that set cultures. Now, since we're talking about bold ideas, who does that remind me of, or remind each one of us of? That one person who's behind today's event, that one person who took a leap of faith 10 years ago, took a problem in hand, and tried to solve it. Please welcome Dr. Ishani Roy, CEO and founder of Serein.
Light off करना.
10 years ago, Ishani was a young mom with a PhD in biomathematics from Brown University and a full time job as a scientist. Now, things were not that rosy. Ishani firsthand experienced what harassment looks like. And what do you think it did to her? It brought out a natural instinct to do bold, big things. She took a problem in hand, the problem to solve workplace discrimination and productivity for all. And that took Ishani from being a scientist to an entrepreneur, winning global awards at Cartier and Ernst at Young, and also putting Serene on a global map as one of the leading companies in the world which do the kind of work that Serene does. A big round of applause for Ishani.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I really didn't want to do this one. I really wanted to have the panels and the keynotes and listen from the absolutely amazing speakers that are here today. But my team did not let me get away with it. They said that at least you have to tell us your story because I rarely ever speak about it. So today I just want to take 5 minutes to just tell you about a little bit about my baby, which started with the other baby along the same time, and how we came here 10 years later. It's really humbling. A lot of companies don't survive 10 years, right? Most companies don't even get past the 5 years mark. The fact that we survived 10 years and we are here to celebrate our success, it's really, really humbling. You know what is more humbling is standing here right now and realizing that out of the 150 people that are here today, I'm yet to meet almost 50% of them. If it was 5 years ago, I would have known every single one of my clients. I would have met them, I'd have had coffee and lunches with them, I would have known their children's graduation, their parents' health, every single one of them. But I don't know when we grew so much that I'm yet to say hello to so many of you. So it's a really, really humbling moment for you, and I'm going to come find each one of you and say thank you for being here today. But just a little bit about what started. I knew nothing of entrepreneurship, right? Starting the company, I studied math. Does anyone know what this is on the slide? Yeah, it's the normal distribution. Yeah, so I used to be that math PhD who used to sit in the basement, solve my theorems, and crack really bad geeky jokes like this. But somewhere along the line, I realized that liking mathematics and being successful as a woman of color is very different in the field of hard sciences, especially not just in India, whether you go to US or in Oxford where I was, it's a very different experience that you face as a female mathematician. And that kind of, makes you sad, right? Especially when I decided to have the little one, and I worked really, really hard to make sure that I was there every day for my work, away from my child. And you realize that there are a lot of differences the way people look at female scientists and male scientists. And it makes you sad. I was kind of complaining about it for a while, and someone very close to me said, then do something. Instead of complaining, do something about it. But do what? What do you do with your life experience and make that into something that people will pay for? It's not the easiest of thing, and I will not lie that the first few months were brutal. It was the toughest that anyone goes through, like Karthik was saying. I think he has seen a lot more of this, but first 6 months, I wrote to hundreds and thousands of people, and I asked them for their time. They gave me their time. They asked me to come to their offices, and I sat outside, but I didn't get to meet a lot of them. I spent a lot of time around Bangalore drinking, sitting with the really nice security uncles, having really nice adrak chai, but not really getting to meet the people I needed to meet. But I did make a lot of good friends with a lot of people, especially even with your security uncles. You get to know the company very well. So what I did is I listened. I just sat there, put my ego out of the door. It didn't matter whether I had an Oxbridge education, I had a PhD. I put my ego out of the door. I needed to get this off the ground. I listened. I spoke to anyone coming out of the door, and I listened about what the culture is in that company. And I wrote the second email saying, this is what I can do for you. And I was only one, and that's all I did. I just spoke to people, and I tried to understand what can be done better about a culture in a company. And somewhere along the way, it worked. People like Karthik answered my email, and he didn't have to, but he did say that, we have 45, I think, portfolio companies at that time, and see what you can do. And see what we could do. We spoke to people. Mikami is here from Slice. Slice was, 20 people at that time when we were introduced, now 2,500 people. And we have had that journey together. It is a very proud moment today to say that what started with drinking a lot of tea and asking a lot of questions has a team in Bangalore, has an office in London. We have employees on payroll in US, in Spain, in Japan, in Kenya. Not a small feat. It really makes me very, very happy to say that, we kind of did this together. But what also makes me proud is, end of the day, what are we doing? We are working with companies, like Karthik said, B2B companies are extremely hard because, yes, it's very hard to sell to Indian companies where margins are low, but then also you are selling for something that may or may not be needed by them, right? But you get to sell it for a long period of time. But everything boils down to what is the impact you're able to make. So for me, to be able to work on domestic violence and the impact of domestic violence on children in the US, that's a privilege. That's a privilege I never knew while I was studying mathematics that I would ever be able to do. To talk about gender and sexuality in Uganda, where the law says it's criminal offense to be from the LGBTQ community, that's a privilege. We were able to do that. To talk about caste in India, how often do you think in this room we will be able to say anything about caste or religion, and that's okay? We get to do that as part of our work. And that, for me, is something I think we have achieved, all of us together. So today, I think I'll end with one small thing that really is making me a little emotional, but very happy. Our first client is here today. Our first person who believed in us and who gave us our very first contract 6 months later, who said that, forget gender, forget women's issues. Can you work on people from different regions in India work together? People who speak English and people who don't speak English that well. We have two groups of people in our company, very cool startup, but can you help them work together? So that was our first project. Imagine that, what a cool project to get to work on for that first one. And that person who gave us that contract 9.5 years ago is still our client and is still in this room celebrating with us. But another cute part of that story is the people that we worked on with that project. There were 5 people in the group along the 1 year that we worked with them. They are now grown up. They're all leading HR in different companies and doing excellent with their careers. And all 5 of them are our clients. And all of them are here in this room celebrating with us. That is something we have done right, I feel, to have this kind of trust. So thank you, each one of you, for being here and really believing in us. So today, we are not just celebrating the leap that I took, definitely celebrating with my family here, with my incredible, incredible team. I don't think they have eaten breakfast. I have not been able to make them take a break or, just work so hard. Each one of them is a perfectionist. But come meet all of them today, but all of you. Really, for not just trusting with that lofty idea that I had as a small young mother, but also paying for it. So thank you, everyone.